Content warning. The Adventures in HellwQrld podcast talks in depth about QAnon, which means we have to talk about all kinds of child abuse and violence against people. Listener discretion advised.
Hello everybody, I am Mike Rains, aka Program Politics, and welcome to another episode of Adventures in HellwQrld. This week I am joined as always by Haley, aka Arizona Right Watch.
Hello listeners. I am definitely not having technical difficulties today, and it will not continue into the podcast, so it's going to go smoothly. Hello.
Yes. And the mysterious L.
Hello, my beautiful babies.
What is that?
Old-timey gangster L.
Have you been listening to the JFK podcast?
Well, have you guys been doing old-timey gangster shit on the JFK podcast?
No.
We have not descended into stereotypical voices, but
When you do that, you have to act like you've got a little cigar in your fingers. It makes it come out so much better.
Yeah.
It's like a key eye shout.
No.
But for listeners who haven't been listening, the mob did kill JFK, so that's where we're at now.
No, we're mostly joking about the fact that Rob Reiner declared that a man known as Chucky the Typewriter was involved in the murder of President Kennedy. And that name has been just so dumb and hilarious to me that I just can't get over it.
Well, I'm assuming it's on account of him shooting people with a Tommy gun.
Probably.
Also known as a Chicago typewriter. Dude, I'm up with this shit. You think I'm just doing a voice over here? Boy, I got knowledge. Actually, no, straight up the whole reason I'm doing that stupid voice is because one of the podcasts I was talking to was talking about Warner Brothers, and that got me thinking about Bugs Bunny.
Is that your Bugs Bunny voice?
Well, no, but Bugs Bunny is based on, what was his name? Bugsy Malone or whatever?
Yeah.
Like the voice that Mel Blanc was doing.
Bugsy Siegel, could be.
Bugsy Siegel, yeah, whatever. Is Bugsy Malone like a basketball player? Bugsy something. Some old-timey Bugsy gangster.
Let's look it up.
Yeah.
It's just like, meh. Yeah. And so apparently that informed Mel Blanc's like characterization of that character. According to what I've heard, which it was the internet, so that could just be fucking complete make 'em up. But
Lies.
I was just like,
the internet's filled with lies.
Yeah.
You
I was like, oh, maybe that is why Bugs Bunny sounds away. You know?
I was talking to somebody about how ridiculous so much like stuff for men's clothing is because it's tactical and all that kind of stuff, like tactical, like windbreaker. And I was like, oh my god! And I was looking, I was watching commercials while I was at work, and they have a driver for golf, like a golf club that's a driver, and it was called the Black Ops driver. It's like, I'm like, what, really? I'm going to take this golf club on a mission to assassinate someone? It's the Black Ops golf club?
Finally, a black driver on a golf course. You know, folks.
Yes.
Yikes. Yeah. So stay on target. Pull up. Yeah.
That wasn't even the trademark Sarge throat to L for a racism bit. That was...
No, so you know, sometimes the throat of racism bit was within us the whole time.
Who is this gangster that you claim Bugs Bunny is based off of?
It's Bugsy something.
Bugsy. I think you're just reading it.
No, but Bugsy.
I mean, that might also be the case. That is certainly true, but it's not impossible.
I mean, maybe it is. You know.
Also, your research is mad sus. You were going on and on about how many days of Christmas there were. There's one. It's called Christmas.
Oh my fucking god! We're not getting into this again.
Sorry, there's like 1.5. Christmas Eve is like kind of there too, but aside
no,
from
there
that,
is. There's actually 40 days of Christmas.
Yes,
that is certainly not true.
there is. Look it up. The Wikipedia.
Oh my!
It's
so.
fucking absolutely mad fake.
Oh my god!
It's not fake.
I had this troll idiot arguing with me, and he posted a meme about why the Obamas gave up their lawyer licenses, and the meme included like a thing that Obama was going to be charged for lying on his bar application, and Michelle was going to be charged with insurance fraud, and that's why they gave up their licenses. And I was like, "Do you have any evidence of that?" And then the guy didn't reply to me for like 15 minutes.
Okay.
And then he came back to me, and when he came back to me, he was like, "Here's what you're trying to do," and he did the proof of evidence fallacy, where he was claiming that the burden of proof was on me, not him, to prove his allegations. And I was like, you do understand you're literally doing the opposite. Like, what you're saying is literally what you're doing. You're the fallacy. And the guy was like, no, I'm not. I'm like, okay, you don't even understand how words work. This is really bad. This is like shameful.
Okay, I'm just gonna read this real quick because I will not be called a liar.
No, you're
Candlemas.
For the record,
Candlemas, shut up.
whatever you read will not change that.
Snorks.
You were going to be called a liar.
Candlemas
no
falls on February 2nd, and it's traditionally the 40th day and the conclusion of the Christmas Epiphany season. I'm not a liar.
Yeah,
It's right
according
here
to
in
the
Wikipedia.
internet, which again, apparently my Bugs Bunny based on Bugsy Malone or whatever Bugsy Siegel guy. Apparently that's too far afield because I read it on the internet. But
No, it
40
comes
days
from
of
a
Christmas?
1910 book called The Practical Commentary on the Holy Scripture for Those Who Teach Bible History.
You want a
by
practical
Frederick
commentary on the Holy
Justus
Scripture? Can you
Next.
imagine how appalled Jesus would be if people told him that they were just, we're going to celebrate your birthday for 40 days. Like,
be
not just
mad.
1, not 2, not 12, 40. 40 of them. He'd be like, man, I don't want to do that, Steve.
If I looked up things on the
I'd rather
internet,
watch feet. Man, that's my thing. Feet,
Happy
man.
Pisces season, everybody.
if I looked up the internet in 1910, they would tell me the Earth was still flat. That would be a thing that would have happened back then. I would.
I mean, you can look up the internet now and you'll find people say that.
Oh, I'm well aware. I enjoy.
Yeah, dude, people love flat Earth.
I love my flurfs. Shout out Team Flurf. You're truly the greatest. Keep doing what you're doing. It's very bad and actually destructive to your brains. So stop. Actually,
Somebody in one of the rare online community I was in was musing about conspiracy theories and just posed the question what everybody's favorite one was, and I said flat Earth because again, to what end? We've got millions of people on board, and it's just like, why? Like, what is big round Earth offering us that the conspiracy needs to be so vast?
How flat is it?
Like,
that's the
how
questions
much
that
how much money is there invested in our Earth being round that it would destroy us to know it we're flat? Like if it was just like, oh shit, they've been lying to us the whole time about the Earth. It was flat, and it's just like, bro, the economy's destroyed. Welcome to the Canadian wasteland. Like you had no idea.
yeah. Oh man.
Now that you know that you could just walk a straight line or whatever to Antarctica, you're fucked, dude. Those penguins are coming for you. We've all seen Batman Returns. They're up to no good.
Oh god, that is so bizarre that a Batman Returns reference happened because like a couple days ago I was reading something about how there were all these extras who had like their penguins on strings for like a scene, and after every scene someone would be like, hey, one of those penguins didn't move. Who's on that penguin? Who's on like penguin 4? And eventually they figured out there was like actually a live penguin amidst all the prop penguins, and that was the penguin that wasn't moving during the scene because it was just a real penguin and it just wasn't following cues.
Bro, see, and this is why we support our AI future. Like the living penguin was just not giving us what we needed. All the fake penguins doing a bang up job.
Yes,
I'm just saying.
Yes,
You can dial in the fake penguins to get exactly what you want out of them, and you don't have to worry about whatever the fuck they're feeling or thinking or wanting to do. Like,
It seems a bit more ethical in that sense too, right?
Yes,
Because like you're not exploiting a penguin, a real penguin.
well, as somebody who is pro AI, I don't care about ethics. Fuck you and fuck your ethics, and I'll hear nothing more from you. It's time for me to jump in my Cybertruck and drive away from this conversation.
Okay.
I saw a report. I have no idea.
Apple Vision Pro activate.
Again, I have no idea how true this is, but I just saw a report and it said all Cybertrucks are starting to rust already, and that it's very possible that within like 5 years, all Cybertrucks will be completely useless because they're so rusty they'll just like fall apart immediately. And I was like, really? I can't imagine that Elon's rock solid engineering would ever go horribly wrong like that. There's no way his poorly hexagonally based vehicle could be a disaster.
I looked it up, and the Cybertruck's engineer is claiming they are not rusting, which definitely means they are. I saw one in the wild the other day.
You're all busting on him right now, but Elon's going to look like a real genius in 15, 20 years when they make that stupid Back to the Future reboot I've been talking about, and it's going to be a Cybertruck that time.
Yes.
They're going to be like, didn't somebody make another big dumb failure that looked really stupid at the time that we could probably gussy up with some movie magic and make like a kitschy nostalgia bait, like fucking like worm on a big hook to sell merch?
Someone needs to paint their
Cybertruck.
Cybertruck
Yeah, fucking yeah, get it.
to look like the Simpsons episode that Danny DeVito was in, where he played Homer's brother, and they made that truck?
Yes.
Homer made the truck?
Right.
The Homer?
But the problem is that thing is covered in curves that the Cybertruck couldn't possibly imagine. Like, it's got a big dome on the top of it, and like it looks like a fucking Jetsons wacky future car or whatever. Like, that looks like some lunatic. Like, if some lunatic was to propose a car for the future in like the 1950s, it might look like that. But Elon Musk thinks cyberpunk is really cool, and he was like, what if I made a truck that looked like it was on the PlayStation 1?
Yes.
It was just like, I mean, you've got enough billions of dollars to do that. He was like, yeah, make it happen. And I want it to be silver and all metal. It's just like, but they don't do that for cars for a reason. He's like, no, I want it. See, I want it.
Oh, God.
Everybody is that dumb voice now.
I was gonna say, is everybody this guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it. Wait till we get to our Trump segment.
yes. Trump is also a 1930s crime boss. Absolutely.
Okay, that's enough stupid goofing with that dumb voice, at least for now. I'll bring it back later, and it'll be a real hoot. Anyway, instead, let's go into our amuse-bouche.
It's time for a light sampling of insanity. Get ready for the amuse-bouche.
Okay, so this is the first thing I've written down, but unfortunately I was told by one of my rat fuck fink colleagues that we have to talk about this horrible Kansas City shooting.
Yeah.
I was trying to avoid it. I was trying to not have to talk about it, but
It's not
apparently
me.
we do. So
Yeah.
It wasn't Haley. It was Mike. Mike is the
I'm
rat
not
fuck
the
fink.
rat fuck.
No,
fink,
I'm the rat fuck fink, and I acknowledge and accept that. Yes.
Okay, well, all right, fink it up there, fuck.
Okay, so two juveniles were arrested last week in relation to the shooting, and we basically have like breaking news over the last like few hours, or I mean, it maybe happened last night that adults have been arrested, but they haven't been identified either. But when these two juveniles were arrested, Kyle Rittenhouse, favorite of the podcast, jumped on his soapbox and was all like, when I got charged for shooting up those people, like my name was everywhere. Why are they hiding these guys' names? And immediately this created a like swirling maelstrom of racism and transphobia, and all these people claiming that the identities of these juveniles were being kept under wraps as a result of like the deep state wanting to protect their identities. And then people pointed out, hey, Kyle, you actually gave an interview after the shootings explaining what you did, and you gave your name during that interview. And that's why that was out there, because you put it out there, because you wanted to be famous for being a murderer. So that's how you achieved that. It wasn't because the deep state exposed you because you're a cishet white dude, and they're now covering for people who are not that in the Kansas City shooting. So great job there.
And then it paid him well enough where he turned into Big Boy from Big Boy Burger.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And like don't get me wrong, I'm a big fat guy myself, but I also like I don't have like rosy apple cheeks and like a fucking like manicured product coif with a nice big fucking cowlick at the front of it or whatever.
Yes.
He's looking like Big Boy. Like it was almost intentional. Anyway.
Yeah, oh yeah, he was going for that apparently. And while that was going on, Representative Tim Burchett decided that he was going to...
What was that last name?
Burchett, I do believe. Let me spell Burchett. Burchett.
That's a good name.
He posted a photo of a person of color who was appeared to be handcuffed during the incident. And he made statements of, he said, the caption was, one of the Kansas City Chiefs victory parade shooters has been identified as an illegal alien. And people reached out and found out that guy is not an illegal alien. He's just an American citizen. And then Tim Burchett's a giant piece of shit. And it took 2 days, I believe, but Burchett has finally deleted the tweet after smearing this person.
Nice.
Yeah. So here's to hoping that guy has lawyers knocking down his door to go after Burchett for falsely identifying him as a shooter and as an illegal immigrant, thusly trying to gin up all kinds of xenophobia and racism against them. So yes, right-wing nut jobs, when you're not screaming false flag and MK Ultra and all the rest of it, you still find more and more awful ways to beclown yourselves when these events happen. So good job, all involved. You're the worst, the absolute worst.
It's cool that everybody's real responsible with their platform.
Yes.
Dude, everybody loves using their platform exclusively for good, including us. We've never said anything controversial or expressed a willingness to sell out even once. I don't know what you're talking about.
Never, not once.
Let's move on in Boosh World to talk about our favorite thing to talk about on the podcast when we're not talking about earthquake machines and such, mules. And apparently,
2000?
The continued lack of mules, which is unfortunate. I mean, one of these days the headline's going to be like, dude, the mules, they're here, we found them. But as of yet, I believe we're still on team no mule.
Yes.
For more of this, I'll toss it over to Mike, of course. Mike, what's going on in mule news for the week?
So, a Georgia judge finally put the test to true the vote and said, yo, you've been denying giving your evidence to the Secretary of State, to Georgia State Congress, everybody else. It's now put up or shut up time. We need your evidence of the voter fraud that led Dinesh D'Souza to make his terrible bullshit fake movie. And True to Vote, when they finally were told to do this, they said, no, we actually don't have any evidence. We have nothing to present to you. We have no documents. We have no names. We have nothing. We literally have nothing to give you. The group's attorney, the direct quote was, True to Vote has no such documents in its possession, custody, or control. So they just finally were called out in a court of law to present their case and said, we don't have one. So congratulations to everyone who fell for that movie and their grift and everything else. This is about as definitive as it'll get, that they're just like, we don't have anything. We got nothing for you, and it's over.
Well, yeah, only because the deep state's keeping them down,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
When the truth comes out, you'll all feel real dumb. You're gonna feel so dumb.
Yeah.
How's his health?
Greg hasn't brought up his health recently. I mean, it was a few months ago that he made some rather grim comments about his cancer and that, like, he's going to trust in the Lord and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, he hasn't brought up anything about his health recently, which is interesting because that's been a big part of his backstory, is that he was poisoned by the deep state in Haiti or some such nonsense. So
he lives to tell another lie.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so I guess
that's great.
I guess the deep state got to him or Catherine or both and made them claim we don't have any actual information to back up all the nonsense we put into that stupid movie of ours. And this also led some QAnon promoters to get very upset with them. And now there are QAnon promoters that are worried that their little meet and greet that they had in Arizona, the Pit.
the Pit?
Yeah.
I love the Pit.
Now some QAnon promoters are worried that the Pit was actually like a deep state op to help dox all of them, and that Catherine and Greg were working for nefarious purposes. This is mostly because one of Catherine and Greg's little pals was the Authority, and the Authority is now one of the big anti-Flynn guys, and he hates most QAnon promoters now. So, that whole intersection of people is leading to people to be like, oh man, I think Catherine and Greg may have set us up. This whole thing smells of the deep state. So yeah, it's going great. Everything's going perfect for those people. Big thumbs up to everyone involved. Again, just rock solid. Excellent OPSEC by everybody. Awakened Outlaw, who was there, is now being yelled at by his first name. A lot of people are calling him Joel in QAnon now because
is that his real name?
Apparently that is his government first name, and because people are.
Does he have a last name?
They haven't. No one's hit him with that yet, but I have seen the people that are having this little spat, this little fight between each other. They like to throw the Joel in at the end of a lot of their tweets now to let him know.
It's kind of like a threat.
Yeah, it's
like we know who you are.
Yeah,
it's funny.
It's like, oh, that's really interesting, Joel. Just be like, bam, bam. Yeah, so it's like, oh man.
We had a kid in our 7th grade class that would act up frequently, and he would always needle our teacher by calling her by her first name.
Disrespect.
Yeah.
He would be acting up, and she'd just be like, "Go to the office." He'd be like, "All right, Connie." Wow.
You can tell he does that to his mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure his home life was great.
I'm sure.
I'm sure it was quite good.
Oh man, I had a workshop teacher, and his name was Jim Bond. And if you dared called him James Bond, he would just like basically kill you. He's like, my name is Jim. My name is Jim. He was not having that.
He should lean in.
No,
That's a
It'd be
cool
like,
name.
show me your motherfucking license, motherfucker.
Yes.
We'll see whose name is Jim. Settle this debate right the fuck now in front of everybody. Show me your license. Here we go.
The best part about that would be it'd be awesome if he did legally change his name to Jim, but just didn't change the whole Bonds thing because he just let it. He just let it remain Bond anyways. He's like, the last name's too much work, but the first name
Yeah,
is Jim.
it's just like the last name is so sweet. I want the fallback option to go back to being James Bond again if my life doesn't work out.
Yes.
He could change it to Boond.
Yeah.
You know. Sorry.
I was laughing at the fact that it's like the way I caught myself there made me sound like some sort of weird like horror movie. Sticking up underneath the jungles of Peru. Okay, enough of that nonsense. Let's talk about truckers. Because Lord knows America loves truckers, and their powerful boycotts have crippled the economy, and now we have to do what the truckers say. Right, Mike?
Yes, yes, indeed. That is exactly what happens. So after the massive settlement was, the massive fine was put against Trump, we had a bunch of right-wing blowhards and truckers claiming that if New York's going to fine Trump trillions and millions of dollars, we're not going to go to New York anymore. We're going to stop trucking for them. And this led to one guy, I believe his name was like Ray Chicago, and he was all just like, we ain't doing this, and this is all bullshit. We ain't going there. And then today, the great trucker boycott of 2024 of New York has come and gone. And our boy said, look, man, I was just like speaking my mind. I was just telling people like how I felt about what was going on with Trump, and it's awful, but us truckers, we need to you gotta pay the rent. You gotta take care of things. You gotta help yourself. So that guy backed down right quick after talking way too much shit about how they were going to bring New York to its knees. Also a part of this massive New York boycott was Dilbert creator and resident internet moron Scott Adams declaring that I'm not going to New York ever again. No more business trips. And it's like, oh no, Dilbert. You're the massive
dude. What are they gonna do without the Dilbert business in New York?
Yeah.
They're gonna be closing down the fucking Disney store that's in Times Square in no time.
Yeah, it's all over. It's all over.
They're gonna be hanging signs saying closed due to lack of Dilbert.
Yes. Yeah, so this, much like the convoy that went to the border and didn't do anything, and the Canadian truckers and all the rest of it, this one didn't even get off the ground. This actually didn't even happen because no one was planning to do anything. Too many people make way too much money trucking into and out of New York to try to cut New York out of their lives in an effort to punish New York for holding Trump accountable for his crimes, which, I mean, is such a heartbreaking thing to think of. So, yeah, this was the most, Chicago Ray. That was the name of our boy who, someone has a
and he sounds a little something like this. No, it's not time yet. It'll come back later.
Yeah.
But now is not the time.
Yeah.
That was just a tease. It was a red herring.
Yeah. Someone posted a tweet of his where he's like, we will not bend, we will not break, we will not yield, we will not give up or back down or surrender. And they just cross out all the will nots and just replace them with check marks saying, yes, you will do all of these things. So, sorry, Chicago.
I love that Buddy got out the thesaurus. He's like, we're not going to back down. We're not going to surrender. We're not going to, looks at the thesaurus, yield.
Yeah.
We will not defer. We will not.
Backpedal, something. I don't know anything. Yeah. So yeah, great job there, Chicago Ray. You really did it. You really toppled the deep state with your whiny tweets, and then immediate backing down from said whining tweets about killing off the Big Apple with your massive protest, boycott, annihilation, blockade, whatever. I was trying to use the thesaurus too, but I failed. I'm not as good at the thesaurusizing as Ray Chicago is.
Hell no. Although I do like his impulse to finally end the pizza wars by just killing New York. kill them with a trucker convoy. The debate will be over.
Yes.
And it's like, Chicago, buddy, the debate's already over. And you just give one of those little like soft punches to the chin, like you knucklehead.
Because Chicago pizza isn't even pizza. It's like some sort of abomination. It's an actual act against God.
I've never had it in Chicago, and once I have it, I'm sure that I'm going to be delighted by it. But I mean, they're really blurring the line between a pizza and a casserole, you know?
Yes.
They're getting jazzed with it. Alrighty. That means that it's time for our weekly touch basing, which is what I was going to say before I caught myself. That I was just like, why catch yourself? Say touch basing. It's time for our weekly touch basing in our greatest state in these United States, Arizona, with our greatest correspondent, boots on the ground in that place, Haley, aka Arizona Right Watch. Yes, it's you, and it's your time to shine. By which I mean bring the room down by talking about your crummy state. No? The uplifting story about your crummy state?
I mean, it's not.
Exactly.
What's that? Arizona enshrined the right to an abortion and gender affirming care into their constitution. Fucking crazy. My God,
You
for
know
this
what?
Haley.
One of those things might actually happen this upcoming election, so hold your tongue. And everybody
Haley,
sign
lots of things might happen. Let me bring your chin over here. Let me give you another one of those, just like Chicago,
abortion into the
Stewie or
Arizona
whatever.
Constitution.
You knucklehead. That's so
Go
funny.
to AZ Abortion Act.
Come here, let me give you a noogie. This one always joking.
No, but for real, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
That's actually possible. So
is it a ballot question yet? Yes or no?
No, they're gathering the signatures to be on the ballot, but like they're way overshooting how many signatures they're going to need.
Yeah, I knew that. Okay, but anyways,
and it will
collecting their spirit bomb energy like Goku.
Yes,
they really are. The team is good.
Yes.
So, Arizonans should sign.
Okay, so enough.
Okay, well, there we go. The shortest Arizona segment ever. Okay, headline.
No, yeah, that was it. It was actually an uplifting segment. So anyway, this weekend. Now this is the 11th year. There's this annual gun rally. It usually happens in February. That happens at the Phoenix State Capitol on the lawn. And it always gathers a very shady group of folks, and then a group of lawmakers. So this year had Andy Biggs. He was there last year. U.S. Representative Andy Biggs, District 5, for those of you who don't know, if he's your representative. I think his challenger this year is going to be a man named Clint Hick. I think actually Stephanie just told me. Because, let's see. Clint Smith, excuse me. Anyways. So every year, there's this Second Amendment rally that happens on the Capitol lawn. And this year, it's hosted by this group. It's put on by this group, Riders USA. It's like a biker group. They've been described as anti-nativist, which means they're racist as fuck. So anyway, this is presented as like a normal, like, we love the Second Amendment, the rally, but there's a lot of shady shit here. Like the Proud Boys were a sponsor this year. They were there last year with a booth. I was there last year, and I wrote about how the Proud Boys were there, and the organizers got on my ass. They were like, they were not a sponsor at our event. They were just there. But this year they were our sponsors. They were on the sponsor list. They were sponsored and handing out little koozies with their logo on it.
Telling you to eat cereal and not jerk off, all that important stuff.
Yeah, telling you who to hate, and that also.
Why are they trying to make me choose between cereal and jerking it? I want to do both.
We won't get into it.
Yeah. Just know that semen retention is an important part in some right-wing circles. It's very bizarre.
It really is. It is a thing.
Yeah.
It is a thing. I was watching some videos about that like last week, and that is some interesting stuff.
Seems like some severe incel coke to me. Like, yeah, I'm just retaining it on purpose, so that way it's powerful when I need it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I mean, you do whatever you want, as far as like that, but I don't think it's a good idea.
But I can't say I would advise it.
No, I can't say that I would. I'm not a doctor, but I wouldn't advise it. Okay? But whatever, you do you. So anyway, this gun event had also a Sons of Confederate Veterans group. Their booth was decked out in a Confederate flag all over it. So not a racist event whatsoever. Andy Biggs was there. There was a couple state reps there. Like a county supervisor or John Birch Society tabled. I know you like that, Mike.
Oh yeah, old school racists.
They have a kid section where they sell these kid T-shirts, like Tigger holding a gun, or Winnie the Pooh holding the gun, or Baby Yoda holding a gun, or whatever. And it's always it's hosted by this like Second Amendment, the so-called Second Amendment friendly school, called Tipping Point Academy. So they have like little, you could like do the hacky sack thing into like little gun decorative things for children. It's very nice. Actually, the guy who runs that school, his name is Jeremy Wood. He was bragging at a rally a few years ago, during like a Reopen Arizona rally, that he dipped his toe in a QAnon, Mike.
Of
course he did. That's founder of a school. And then also, okay, so like there's a list of like sponsors and partners for this event. One of the like the quote unquote foundational partners was like a neo-Nazi like Groyper group. They're called College Republicans United. They kind of like occasionally intertwine with the traditional AZGOP here. Occasionally they get into hot water for like, maybe scheduling a rally with Nick Fuentes and then putting the county GOP on the flyer, possibly without their knowledge, causing controversy here, and then a bunch of people backing out. They do this. I've talked about them before. They're just it's a college group at ASU, but they also extend to other campuses. They had the like Nick Fuentes America First flag on their booth. They helped design the pamphlet, and they put Jared Taylor on their little special thanks section, who is a white supremacist. So this is cool. Andy Biggs spoke at this, just FYI. So yeah, the gun rally.
The Second Amendment rally, which is actually a Nazi rally this year, is basically
literally. I mean, it always is, though. It always is. This always happens. The Proud Boys were there last year. That Confederate group is always there. This group is honestly always there too. This year they were just more involved. So yeah, it's definitely just a gun rally, not like a far right fascist event. So yeah, that happened this weekend.
Wonderful.
Sounds awesome.
Yes.
I mean, that's exactly the sort of activity I would expect to be coming out of Arizona, though. I'm not going to lie.
I know. I'm sorry.
But no, hey, you surprised myself and probably a lot of our listeners with that slightly uplifting news about the abortion rights stuff. So,
people should sign it.
Yeah, if you happen to be in Arizona, fight the good fight.
Yes.
Get out there.
Literally go to any coffee shop and you'll find people collecting signatures for it.
Yeah, and if the signatures aren't enough, there's a gun rally. You can do with that info what you want.
Right down the road. You can raffle a gun.
Yeah, just go buy a gun. It'll make you feel better. That's the point. Everybody loves a gun. Just go buy a few, actually.
Yeah.
There's no limit to them.
Nope.
As an American, you can have as many as you want, really.
Yes.
Go get them.
Yep, Second Amendment,
you can
baby.
Talk to your local congressman. Talk to your local hate group. You can grab something from the Cheese E-Wagon, which is a cheese food truck. I've gotten mozzarella sticks there before. They weren't that good.
That's unfortunate, because, dude, like an all-cheese food truck sounds like my jam.
I know. I knew you'd like that.
Wow! I don't know what that says about me. Okay, you are correct.
Who doesn't like cheese?
Dude, a bunch of my like a couple of my weird friends, and they're just like, I'm not a picky eater. I just don't like cheese or fish or a lot of food. It's like, you're picky as fuck.
I just my food truck experience that I remember being disappointing was the one that actually had grilled pizza. They had just like an open top, like just charcoal grill, and they were putting pizzas on top of it. And I thought that was going to be like really interesting. And the pizza was just like mediocre. It was pedestrian. And I was like, man, I don't know why I thought grilled pizza would be so incredible, but it didn't do much for me. So nice gimmick.
That doesn't sound good.
Nice gimmick. You made a sale, but you're not getting any repeat business out of me. So, yeah.
Wow, Mike's a tough nut to crack when it comes to pizza. Maybe he should go to Chicago. Is it time? No, it's time for our headlines, though.
From the digital headlines to the digital front lines, it's Q's in the news.
Whoa, you can't just okay me there. Were you not done with Arizona stuff?
I was just saying, I don't know. I can't mute, so you just have to hear everything that is.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't trampling over you, but you were just like, oh, okay. And I was like, you paused for a bad long time. I thought we were done with Arizona.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah.
You know, Mike, edit all this out. Michael, edit all this out.
Mike
Nobody
is
will ever edit
definitely
this.
going to edit it all out.
You know what? And just to make sure that he has to edit it out, time to say that word I'm not supposed to actually say. The best part about that is I get to let the listener determine what word I had conjured. I just said that word. You see, it's like a mystery box. I'm like a JJ podcasting.
I'm just. This whole podcast has me disconcerted because Haley has a T-shirt of Sisyphus having sex with a rock, and that very much confuses me.
It's not. No, it's Sisyphus pushing up a Q. I thought you would appreciate it.
Now I see that it's
rock.
now that I see Sisyphus is having sex with a Q, so that makes it even more jarring. So yes.
Yeah, it's funny.
I see.
You know what? I just, out of respect for Haley, I just see a shapeless form. Like I don't scrutinize anything about Haley's. I don't scrutinize anything about Haley's top or clothing choices or any of that stuff. For what's worth, it does look like Sisyphus is fucking that thing. I get that it's supposed to be in the Greek
He's pushing
fashion.
it up a mountain.
Yes.
Yeah. I know what Sisyphus is.
Yes. We know.
And I also know that that's just how the Greeks depicted stuff.
Yes.
But we also know what the Greeks were into.
Yes.
So
yes.
All of debauched sex stuff. This is the weirdest part of the show that we've had so far.
Yes.
I'd like to get away from it if we could. And
The person who made this shirt made a hat that says "Crisis Actor." I have that hat.
Yes.
Crisis Actor. I try not to wear that too much in public.
Actor. Wow, what an incredible, yeah. Christ is actor. That sounds like some bootleg merch that we would get in a lot of trouble for selling in our merch store that doesn't do this. Yeah, this is our Christ is actor shirt. It works. It sort of works on several levels, but not quite on any of them. Anyway, okay, no, back on track. Yeah. We have to talk about Hunter Biden again because fucking Christ, Hunter Biden won't go away. Well, I mean, we have to talk about the fake ass witness that caused a lot of this Hunter Biden bullshit. Because it turns out that they may not have been on the up and up. What? So surprising. They seem like such a slam dunk, reliable witness. Yeah. Anyway, for more on this, I'll turn it over to Mike and get us all back on the same track again. Mike, we're back on the track.
Yes.
Let's talk about Hunter Biden's big penis. Anyway, no.
Yeah, so our boy Hunter Biden, the main avenue of attack against him and his father, who happens to be the president, the Republicans' star witness for this whole thing has now been indicted for 2 counts of lying to federal agents and falsifying documents in a federal investigation. And so Alexander Smirnov is now... Basically, the FBI is saying this guy's actually a Russian operative that was peddling disinformation to Republicans. And
okay, because of Haley's technical difficulties, like she couldn't unmute herself to make it known to the audience that she was giggling. But I was also giggling.
I didn't want to laugh at I didn't want to laugh at the man. I had him muted intentionally.
You should laugh at him. He's a Russian liar, apparently.
Yes.
He is
that
Russian
a real
liar.
name?
I am not a spy. My name is Smirnov, yeah, a classic American name.
Yep. His name is Alexander Smirnov. That's
great.
That's the name of the guy.
No, it's not.
That's his deep cover name. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So basically, the reporting has come out that everything the guy has said to the FBI about this whole Hunter Biden thing is absolute bullshit. And so now the big question that's being asked is our boy Jim Jordan and all the other schmucks that are with him, were they either morons or were they also participants in this Russian disinformation campaign to get this guy's lies out before the public to try to smear Hunter Biden and Joe Biden?
Well, come on now. I thought that Volker Drunskinsky was a perfectly reliable source. How could you fault us for that? He seemed like such an up-and-up guy.
Yes. That is exactly what is happening here. So this is it's really awesome. It's really awesome that we have one political party in America so totally devoid from reality and not caring about shit that literally the best interpretation we can make for them is, oh, they just got tricked by those crafty Russians. Whereas the other alternative is they're working with those crafty Russians and they're very happy to do Putin's bidding to try to take down Joe Biden. So yeah, this has been hilarious. Right now, the media, as tame as they usually are of Republicans, are pretty happy right now going after Jim Jordan and the rest of them and giving them a ration of shit about all of this stuff. So we'll see how this further spirals now that it's come out that literally the foundational piece of their whole case against the Biden family is made up bullshit. It's just a fantasy that they created of their own volition. It's wonderful. So great job, Republicans. You're truly the best.
See, their LARPy bullshit is starting to spill over into real life.
Yeah, exactly.
They went out there. They were LARPing mad hard. They found a guy who was willing to like feed into their bullshit. He's just like, oh yeah, I heard the big goal between the Bidens, you know. And they're just like, wow, this guy's seriously. Why look into him at all? Like,
Yeah.
fucking holy shit, get to the presses with it. My God.
Yeah, it's just a thing where like whenever the QAnon loves to be like, we're the world's greatest researchers, we can suss out like disinformation in a heartbeat, and they'll just post anything that confirms their biases. Doesn't even matter. It's like Obama said he was born in Kenya, confirmed, and it's like, no, that's a deep fake. It's like not even real. They're like, shut up, lib, you're just triggered much, and it's like, no, you're just wrong. Everything you said is like,
have I introduced you to my wife? She's not a Chinese spy. Oh, beaten she is. Again, no.
Son of a biscuit. Ah, man.
Not to say that every foreign person is a spy or some sort of counterintelligence agent. I will say that when it does happen, it turns out to usually be conservatives getting fucking hoodwinked by these like people that in hindsight it's just like, oh, maybe we should have asked some questions. You're 57. Why do you have a 25-year-old Chinese wife? Don't worry about it.
Exactly. It's like, the Overstock guy got with a Russian honeypot. That Jackson Hinkle idiot, his woman was Russian intelligence. It's just all these idiots.
That was awesome.
It's just all these idiots. Just like, oh, how could I possibly have figured out that beautiful woman was not on the up and up? She didn't.
Dude, North Korean girls just love American guys. What am I supposed to do? You know,
Yeah.
they keep throwing themselves at me.
Yeah.
They keep approaching me and just being like, "Please date me, please, for the love of God, my life depends on it." And I'm just like, "Damn, I'm the Rizzler."
Oh man.
Anyway, speaking of people with very high charisma scores, let's do our weekly talk about Mr. Donald Trump, Mr. Former President Donald Trump, who continues to get his ass paddled up and down our legal system. Boy, howdy, it's something to watch. So, Mike, what's going on with our former prez today?
This time last time we checked in with him, he had lost over $80 million in his defamation suit against the woman that he sexually assaulted and then claimed he did.
Well, at least he got through the worst of it, right?
Yes. Oh yeah.
80 million is a lot.
Right. So, this week he got tuned up for $355 million in New York for business fraud. So,
That's not that much.
not much, but barely a tickle. I mean,
It's a fake number.
yeah,
He
fake.
made that number up.
It's fake news from fake money. It's all bullshit. And besides, Trump's a billionaire. He'll just write that check tomorrow. No muss, no fuss. He's loaded. He's loaded with cash. That guy. When I think of
Yeah, he certainly wouldn't need to desperately start selling golden shoes.
yes,
No, those are super
That would
cool.
be crazy. He says, like wiping sweat from his brow, hoping the
Did
bronzer
you
doesn't
get
come
those,
off.
Mike? Were you one of the 2,000 people that quick purchased those?
I did not get the Trump gold shoes. However, I did get to see people posting decodes and bakes of the shoes, where they were like, shoes are what your feet are on, and your feet are your foundation. Gold shoes, a golden foundation. We're going back to the gold standard. America will have a gold-based economy that will be secure. So yeah, I saw a lot of
It's true, buy gold.
yeah, and other people were calling them Trump ones, which translates to Trump won. Get it? Trump won the election. Oh man, so yeah. There were what was really funny was I saw people posting photos of Trump with the gold shoes, and then posting the evil people with their red shoes for the red shoe conspiracy theory. And then people were replying to them, posting the fact that Trump did have red shoes in his collection of shoes that he was selling. So, so that didn't work out so great.
They're called Never Surrender sneakers. Any bakes around that?
Nope, I have not.
Around the name?
I have not seen any baking around the Never Surrender sneaker.
Okay, just vague shit.
Just gold standard lunacy and other. And other people were like, I saw one person like, New York tries to hit Trump with a $300 million fine. He turns it around and creates another massive revenue stream with his shoes. This man just wins all the time. It's like he sold 2,000 shoes to lunatics. It's not a revenue stream. It's a smash and grab. He got the money and it's over. It's like if I rob a bank, I don't have a bank robbing revenue stream. I've robbed one bank and it's over. I've obtained I've obtained all the money that I'm going to obtain from that one moment. It's not going to continue in perpetuity. I'm not going to get residual.
I want to go to one of these. I want to go to one of these Trump rallies and run down some of these people wearing these Never Surrender sneakers that are also flying Confederate flags and be like, "Oh, I've got bad news for you. I'm so sorry to be the one to have to tell you this, but they literally did that.
Yeah.
Like it's the textbook definition of that,
Yeah.
my guy. Yeah. Like literally, like remove one of them. You can't fly both.
Right?
I'm excited to see one in the wild.
God.
Yeah, I mean, so those shoes are hideous, and since they totally only ever planned to make 2,000 of them, I probably won't ever see one in the wild. But if I did, I'd be pretty fired up. But like in the same way I would be if I saw like an idiot walking out of a Starbucks wearing like an Apple Vision Pro in real life. I'd be like, what's going on with you, dude? I'd be like, if you wanted that, you should have supported Google 10 years ago. Like, Google Glass is dead. Now you have to wear that fucking thing. Get out of here.
Yeah.
You'll see at least one or two at a Trump rally, I bet.
Oh,
I bet. But are those going to be Trump plants? I feel like dude, that would be mad sus. If I was actually at one of those rallies and I saw somebody like, because who's gonna rock it, like Forgiato Blow's gonna rock up wearing. I'm like, yeah, okay, I bet you love it. Like, okay, cool, yeah, I bet you're one of the idiots that have a pair of these because the Trump team probably got you a pair of these.
You're right.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, that someone
they'll disintegrate off of his feet as he's climbing down from his big fucking monster truck, and then he'll just have to be like, I mean, these are still pretty great sneakers, like I just wore them out doing all the sex. And then he has to put on real sneakers that were just like crudely stitched together some sweatshop in Indonesia.
Yes. God. Like someone like made a post about that. They were like, all these rappers are wearing the Trumps, and I'm like, that was the name. I'm like, oh yeah, I mean, it's like Figueroa Blow or however you say his dumb name. I'm like, that's the only rapper I could think of.
Forgiato.
I believe it's Forgiato.
Yep.
Which is unfortunate that I know that. I did watch that Vice documentary on him when it came out because I was like, who the fuck is this? I was like, is this guy a bit? I was like, is this guy the new Mr. Brainwash? Like, are you him? Are you brainwashing?
It's his new bit.
Are you Mr. Brainwashing us? Where's Banksy at? Dude, you can't be real. But no, it appeared to be real. And they captured him on film, like walking down a line of people at some dumb Trump rally, and some just like blonde, like traditionally attractive lady was just like, oh my God, you're Forgiato Blow. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? I was like, what is... He looks like ICP gone wrong. Like, why? And his message is, of course, terrible because he's hanging his hat on the fucking MAGA bullshit. Anyway, yeah, I have a lot of opinions about him because he's a rapper.
Yeah. So yeah, one day we'll have to break down his bars. We'll have to actually get into it.
We should. That'll be a bonus episode because he follows like all the so-called culture wars and makes songs related to them, and they're trash as fuck. Like he's made anti-LGBTQ songs about Target or whatever, Bud Light. I don't,
Oh, God.
He also links up with like other dudes that are like him, like the Trump Latinos. If you've ever seen those guys, It's like two guys. I think one is pretending to be Latino. And
I mean,
they
I don't
have like
want to cast too hard of an aspersion, but I feel like if you're supporting Trump, like you are at best faking Latino. You know what I mean? Like that like I can't possibly imagine being one of these people who's a minority that supports Trump. It's like, dude, he wants you dead. Like he wants you dead and we're kicked out of the country. He would like to
They
kick
have
your
like
corpse out of the country.
they have like a video girl, you know, like the Trump Latinos, you know, like the old video girls, like attractive woman kind of just moving body in video, occasionally dropping a line. And I think she calls herself like MAGA Mama or something like that. So yeah, we should break these down. That could be a bonus episode.
Oh my
we won't
God.
listen to them.
I am so
for
sorry.
The audience.
Haley, you reminded me of a thing. I need to wrap that up because we skipped over something incredibly critical in the bush that I can't believe we mentioned. Dude, Rachel Dolezal came out of the fucking
I
woodwork.
don't want to talk about that.
Dude, if I had to talk about the Kansas City thing, we have to talk about Rachel Dolezal because she's back in the news, and this time she actually is the victim, which is a crazy twist.
I agree. Elle, you're so fucking real for that. I agree for several reasons.
Yeah, dude.
I was like, don't make me defend her.
Because it's just like, dude, like, look, it's crazy that she's back. Because I think everybody probably just rightly agreed that she was just going to crawl under a rock for the rest of her life and just do her thing and, like, probably not be punished in a way, like, karmically that she should have been, but wasn't going to be making any headlines. Then it's just like, oh shit, she's back in the news. First of all, she has sort of changed her name. I guess she goes by both. I don't know what her new name is. I apologize to both her and Most Def. I'm just stupid. I don't mean to be dead naming you. I'm just an idiot. I apologize. Like, and also your status is above mine. Yes, even you, Rachel Dolezal, because apparently she had a successful OnlyFans account on the side and was doing educator shit. And of course, in America, those two things, no, you can't have those two things be combined. Think of the children.
Also, I believe her photos were leaked, and I did see some outlets sharing the leaked photos, which is I don't agree with.
Yes, it is not cool. It is not cool to be leaking the photos. That being said, I did look at the photos, and I will say, good for you, Rachel Dolezal. Like, I didn't know what to expect, but I did sort of have. I was just like, well, I mean, if this is the path of the Octomom, I've been here before, and it's not great.
Oh my God, yes.
But this time, I was just like, you know what? She seems to, like, whatever exercise regimen or whatever she's doing, it's working. She seems like she's just a properly fit and perfectly attractive person. If only it wasn't for the whole weird race stuff. But again, we're not trying to get into that here because in this instance, she is the victim of this, like, unfortunate thing. And it was just such a random topic that I couldn't not talk about it. It has fuck all to do with QAnon, but it was just a weird thing that I needed to get out of my system.
It's okay.
Such a crazy character to be back. And it's just like, it's back at this time, like, rocking a little bit of sympathy from the people with a brain in the audience.
Agreed. And you know what? Also locally, because this is a Tucson story. It's an Arizona story. She was actually.
Is it really? I didn't even see that. How did you drop the ball on this one?
It is an Arizona story. I'm sorry. It's us. But okay, so she was kind of semi-back last year in the news locally because she appeared at an event with the governor Katie Hobbs, and it was an event about like banning the state from practicing race-based discrimination based off of hair discrimination. It was like a hair discrimination event, and you see like a bunch of people in Katie Hobbs like administration, and then at the very end is Rachel Dolezal, and some people are like, is that Rachel Dolezal? So there was like a brief she's back, but this made national news. Yeah, I agree, not for the correct reasons. This is not me supporting Mrs. Dolezal. It's just like, come on, man. So anyway, I don't agree with someone getting fired for having an OnlyFans account.
Dude, what is the deal with that? Like, who the fuck cares if they have an OnlyFans account? As long as they're like promoting it in their classroom. In theory, the kids should never know about the OnlyFans account. The only way they know is when their parents make a big stink about it and their teacher gets fired, and then they find it after the fact. Those kids are gonna be like, I mean, I'm sure once in a while some high school kid will like, stumble across their teacher's OnlyFans account and ruin their life all of a sudden. But generally, I feel like a lot of these kids are learning about it after the fact, where they're just like, oh, what happened to Ms. Dolezal? Can't remember what her real name is now, or her new name is.
Takeshi Amare Diallo.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that's...
You fast.
No. I mean, I'm not faulting you, but I mean, like, based on her history, like, what was that first name? Nkechi? Is that like?
Nkechi.
I mean, I don't.
Nkechi. Space.
I mean,
Amare. Amare. Space. Diallo. Diallo. You figure that out on your own.
No. I think you got it right, and I think that
Okay.
it clearly has African rootage, and I think that for that reason, because of Auntie's history, I'm going to need some receipts, and until then, I'm going to stick with Rachel, and I don't think anyone's going to fault me for it.
I'm going to call her Rachel.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Rachel until I show me where the Nkechi's coming from and who signed off on that one. Like, you know, that seems like a bit of a stretch. Anyway, okay, so let's reverse time and get back to talking about Donald Trump and his massive settlement, because we got wildly off base.
That's good.
Big part of that is my fault, but luckily I do know I did put I dog earmarked the fucking page. I folded the corner over in a way that would make most book lovers poop their pants. And now we're back. And Donald Trump owes almost $500 million in 2 settlements to various people and institutions. So is it going to stick? That's the real question, right? He still has an appeals process?
Well, the problem with the appeals process is that he actually has to pony up the most of the money for the appeal that he owes for the appeal in order to get the appeal. And so all of these right-winger and QAnon folks were like, Donald Trump's richer than God. This is but merely a drop in the bucket. It's like, well, let's see him pony up the cash then. Let's see him put up that money so he can get his appeal through. What's probably more likely to happen.
Well, when does he have? Does he have a deadline for that?
I think it's like, well, I'm not really sure about the deadline. I've seen different things about maybe like in a month or so, but the main thing is that they're going to start proceedings to start taking the money from him if he doesn't file the appeal. So that's when the rubber will really meet the road. And since Trump doesn't actually have infinite gobs of money, I'm pretty confident that because all these QAnon people are like, oh, he's going to win on appeal. This judge is full of shit, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, let's see that appeal happen then, buddy. Let's actually see it happen. So good luck with all of that. As a result of all these things, one Trump PAC literally announced that they raised a grand total of $8,000 in the last campaign cycle, and that they were spending millions of dollars on Trump's legal fees. And right now, like the Biden campaign plus the DNC versus the Trump campaign and the RNC, like in the last month, Biden and the DNC raised $42 million. And Trump and the Republicans raised $23 million. So between the fact that like the Democrats are making way more money than the Republicans, and the fact that Joe Biden isn't bleeding money like a sieve because he's fighting a trillion lawsuits for all of his infinite crimes, it seems like the financial footing of one side is far better than the financial footing of the other side at this moment.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but despite the massive cash settlement against Trump, he wasn't given the so-called corporate death sentence in New York, right? I heard that he has to suspend business activities for a time, but can eventually go back to defrauding New York.
He can't practice business in New York for 3 years, and his kids can't practice business in New York for 2 years. So that's going to be a fun little...
But some 2 random schmucks further down the line, I feel like I heard, got completely barred from practicing business in New York. They were just like, you were the ones that were killing for Trump's sins. You may never do business here again. In fact, get out and leave your clothes behind. And then they just had to walk away from the New York state line, like in their underwear, their like boxer briefs with the sad Hulk music playing.
I was right.
Like, lightly shivering and just looking over their shoulder. They're just like, get out of here. Like, go.
I don't know why, but I was right there with you with the sad Hulk music. Just the idea of that, which is like the perfect finish to the story. Man.
Dude, the sad Hulk music is like a classic for communicating a specific feeling of roadside isolation.
Yes.
Classic. Okay, well, I mean, see, like, look, what an uplifting episode this has been. I mean, sloppy as fuck, but also uplifting. Like, Donald Trump owes a bunch of people like $500 million.
Never not sloppy.
We're taking Rachel Dolezal's side. You know, the like abortion rights might be getting a push in Arizona. You love to see it. It's like let's keep the good vibes rolling. And our last headline for the week. Oh God, no, he's dead.
Yeah.
Putin got him. Navalny, he died of totally natural causes.
I heard that.
Yeah.
The causes were so natural you wouldn't believe them. In fact, they were so natural we're not going to let you see the body.
Yes. Yeah, so Alexander Navalny, the biggest critic and opposition to Vladimir Putin inside of Russia, died in the gulag that he was detained in, and this led to all the Putin apologists and bootlickers to be like, "Hey, what can you do? Sometimes a dictator murders his opposition, but them's the breaks." I think my favorite part of this was Tucker Carlson, Mr. Free Speech Absolutionism, declaring that, yeah, leadership requires that you kill some people. So while I agree that you should be fully free to speak your mind, I also believe that the person who runs the country you're living in should have a right to kill you if you speak your mind in ways they don't like. So it's a the dichotomy of free speech, as it were.
I mean, ironclad policy to me. I understand it. It's like, what don't you understand, Mike? It's pretty fucking clear to me.
Yeah.
You're free, baby. Free.
Yes.
To say anything you want.
Right.
That's positive about the president.
Yes. So the QAnon folks have decided that they need to look at this thing from a different lens other than just a dictator brutally murdering his opposition. And their argument is basically that right now the Ukraine bill is stalled in the U.S. House. People are trying to get the bill to the floor for a vote. The Speaker of the House is saying he won't allow that, blah, blah, blah. And so their argument is that the deep state got into that gulag and killed Navalny in order to usher in this backlash against Putin and against Russia that will force the Republicans' hands, and they'll have to let the bill go to a vote, and then it will be approved, and Ukraine will get their money and weapons to fight the war against Russia, so on and so forth. And because this is obviously the situation, there's no reason why Putin would kill this guy now, because Putin isn't doing a giant media blitz where he just got interviewed by Tucker Carlson. He isn't trying to project all kinds of strength and power to the world and now just killing Navalny because fuck you. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. That's what you're going to do about it. There's no way that could possibly be what's happening here. No, siree, Bob. This was absolutely a deep state plot against Navalny and Putin, trying to make Putin look bad. And the best offshoot of that nonsense was the anti-vaxxers claimed that Navalny had been killed by the vaccine, which the quote-unquote vaccine was not available in Russia in the first place. Russia had their own Putin-backed vaccine. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, yeah, that was an awesome spinoff that Navalny wasn't killed for being in a gulag.
I mean, that was what they found in his underwear when he was in Budapest or whatever, right? It was the vaccine.
Yes, it was not the Novichok.
And then he heroically survived falling into a coma from the vaccine and then decided to go back to Russia knowing full well that the vaccine was going to kill him.
Yes, exactly right. That is the story of Alexander Navalny. That is exactly how it went down. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know shit about this guy outside of the fact that, like, he didn't like Putin. Putin wanted him dead and tried and failed. And then that guy was just like, but I'm going to go back to Russia anyway, knowing full well that they're going to arrest me, torture me, and kill me. It's like, damn, bro, this shit's rough.
False.
Yeah, I mean...
False? Oh,
False.
false. I was like,
False.
false.
Yes.
No, not false. I'm not calling you a liar. I'm saying false.
I think a lot of us are just surprised that he managed to avoid falling out of a window. That's usually how they get this thing done.
Yeah. Well, or have his plane...
I think the actual line they're towing on this one is that, like, he just, like, fell over during a walk or whatever. It's just like, yeah, but I mean, you know, I'm sure there was a guard there gently assisting him into the afterlife.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like, again, Putin killed this guy. That's all there is to it. And anyone who wants to claim otherwise is just a willful puppet of a murderous dictator. So you can all pound sand. It's just great. So, yeah. Republicans. That's my favorite thing is I've seen so many people posting stuff on here like, what Putin has done here is unacceptable and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, then... let the bill go through. Let Ukraine get its aid. There's no quote unquote other avenue to attack Putin on. Like, Russia is consumed by the war in Ukraine.
Yeah, how about like calling your buddy Trump to actually speak out against it? You know?
Oh yeah.
So somehow I doubt he will.
No, I think he like said something about Navalny and then pissed and moaned about how he was being persecuted like Navalny was, and yeah, basically that's what Trump is claiming. Like in the Fox News interview he had last night, they were like, so like you're losing all this money and you're facing all these lawsuits, and by the way, the election interference hush money case is going to trial at the end of March, and you can't stop it. And Trump was just like, yeah, this is just like Navalny. I'm absolutely being poisoned to death by Joe Biden, and then I'm going to be killed in prison by Joe Biden. That's exactly what's happening to me. Poor Donald Trump, the persecuted, the beleaguered, the besieged. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, the most persecuted man since Jesus Christ. In fact, maybe even more so, you know?
Yes, I can agree with that. Absolutely.
Jesus was a tremendous guy, but he's nowhere near as persecuted as Donald Trump, says Donald Trump.
Exactly. And he would know from persecution, the poor man. Our poor orange baby. What a tough life he leads.
Yeah, and speaking of a tough life, I don't have a good segue to get us into our headline news, and that's tough for me. What a tough life I lead.
Yeah.
Get us out of our head. We're going into headlines.
I meant to say out of, it's time is a flat circle. Shut up. You know what? Hey, I'm giving you very minimal crap relative to the amount of crap I could give you today.
Okay.
How dare you? How dare you? Anyway, okay, mailbag. That's what I meant to say. I meant to say the mailbag.
Mailbag.
Our listeners got questions, we got answers. It's time for Q&A.
I tend to keep my razzling to you via text so I could see your reaction to it in media res.
Did you see me react when I saw your text?
I absolutely did. It was great. That's just for me. That's just for me and Mike, though, not the listener. The listener, fuck off. No, we live here in Brooklyn, so that's why we have a mailbag.
Yep.
Meebad asks, is the Michigan GOP starting to edge out the Arizona GOP in craziness? They're working on it.
No.
No, you're giving a hard no? Okay.
I snap noed. I mean, I don't even know what's going on in Michigan. What's going on in Michigan?
So basically, Michigan, they elected a QAnon lunatic woman to be the head of the Republican Party in Michigan, Christina Caramo.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So she was.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, she was a person. She's been posting. She posted QAnon stuff, talked about all those good things, did the whole child sacrifice, blah blah blah. And eventually, the Republicans decided, "Oh no, this is not good. We should not have this crazy person running our state party." So they held a meeting where they removed her from the chairmanship of the Republican Party in Michigan, and she refuses to accept the results of that. She's claimed that the meeting was not official and was illegally organized, and she doesn't accept that. She's been removed from power. So she is currently going to court with the Republican Party in Michigan to fight them, and she wants to remain the party leader. And so right now, it seems like it's possible we might have two different Republican conventions in Michigan upcoming, one run by her, one run by the other people who are actually running the place right now, but can't legally say so because the court case hasn't been resolved yet. So yeah, the Michigan Republican Party is an absolute clown show. It is a total dumpster fire. And
okay, but while that is certainly a sticky wicket, at the heart of it is some amount of Republicans being like, yo, this lady is crazy, which I think is sort of like a level of self-awareness that I don't necessarily associate with Arizona Republicans. So
they did get rid of Liz Harris, who was like, I mean, Mike, she's the one that she's QAnon adjacent. I would say QAnon she occasionally has posted QAnon. She's definitely like in the QAnon realm.
Yeah, but Arizona hasn't done anything about Wendy Rogers yet, and she's fully pilled. So I mean,
that's true.
Yeah,
that is true.
Yeah.
That is very true. There's a couple others.
Yeah. So I
hey, just take your dub, Haley. Your state is still the GOAT.
Yes,
I'm not taking it as a dub. I'm just saying.
No, you're on record. Haley's on record saying that she loves how insane her state is. She's just.
I do love Arizona, but it could be better.
Yeah.
Don't put words in my mouth. Those aren't the words I was putting in your mouth.
So yeah, Michigan's GOP is nuts, but it feels like it's more of a isolated thing where you just have this one person that somehow seized power for the local party, whereas a lot of Arizona's Republicans are actually truly pilled. So we'll see.
Or hateful.
Here's hoping for you, Michigan, because all I can say is that Michigan and Arizona are both battleground states. So the nuttier you are, the easier it is for Democrats to win. So please keep it up. That's all I can ask for. MK asks, do any QAnon followers claim to be currently in contact with Q, or is there is there somewhere where Q is still posting drops? Do any of the followers have justification for why Q disappeared, or do they think Q is dead?
How's the Q countdown going?
That website, the Q official site that just has the constant.
Yeah, that's an incredible question, Haley. I forgot all about that.
We've been checking in every so often.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God. When I go to look for the website, it's literally just a bunch of TikTok videos saying the Q website is bullshit. Arr! So it
that's funny.
It feels like it feels like everyone's really angry at the website. So qofficial.net/password. I think it's yep. Today's headline is 3 siren emojis alert. The EBS has gone off in the U.S. Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, Phoenix, New York City, Philadelphia, Seattle. Something big is coming. 8 hours and 37 minutes left on the deadline, and there's a photo of a black swan because they love the thing black swan events.
So is that a new Q drop, or is that an old Q drop repurposed?
No, this is just the Q website that we talk about that has that fake countdown that resets.
Okay, I didn't know if they were saying like Q drops.
No, this isn't Q drops.
Interesting.
Yeah, Q hasn't posted in 2 years, and there are QAnon promoters who say that even those 2 year ago Q drops were fake, so that real Q hasn't posted in 4 years. No one has really explained why Q left, and the main justification is that Q's mission was completed, that he woke us up and he tapped us into the truth about the deep state, man. Which is kind of ridiculous, because if Q was actually doing what they were supposed to be doing, they would have made messages like, don't go to January 6th. It's a deep state trap. Stay out. Like that would have really, really bad idea. But no, Q took his ball and went home right after Trump lost the election. So, yeah. So I haven't seen anyone go for the gimmick of, oh, yeah, I talk to Q all the time, bro. But I mean, that is a gimmick that people did do back in the day, where people would be like, oh, yeah, I'm part of Q team. You had Austin Steinbart claim that he was Q in the future, sending messages to himself in the past to decode, to help him understand what was going on. And you'll have people like Jordan Sather being like, anyone who claims they're a part of Q team is bullshit, and fuck them, and buy my coffee and my dick pills and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, like that whole quote unquote insider thing is an angle that's been used, but no one's used it in a long time because the movement has kind of gone past Q at this point. Like if Q showed back up, the promoters would pretend to be happy about it, but they'd be like, God damn it. Now we have to like pretend that this asshole actually is relevant. This sucks. So yeah.
Well, there we go. I don't know how we got on that tangent, but I believe we at some point in there answered the listener's initial question.
Yeah.
There was questions answered.
Yeah, they hit me with all the questions. I was quite seasoned and peppered with questions. Speaking of another peppering, Eric the Deep State Operative asks, upon the death of the God Emperor, what do you think will happen to QAnon? Is there anyone who could possibly take up the mantle of the former guy, or will it splinter into dozens of competing factions? Oh,
it'll just mythologize him more.
Oh, he'll be the king under the mountain. He'll be he will not be dead. He will be in the shadows waiting for his glorious rise. But he'll become a fallen martyr like JFK. Like he'll just be like the latest hero that fought the deep state valiantly, but then was overcome by them and defeated. The thing is that I don't know that there's anyone that exists in our politics now that could actually rally QAnon around them, because QAnon is literally a cult about Donald Trump. There's really no secondary character. I mean, in the Q drops themselves, like one of the biggest secondary characters was Michael Flynn, and now half of them hate Michael Flynn now. I mean, it's wild. So I don't know that anyone could possibly be like, hey, Trump's dead, but now I'm your hero. Back me. I'm the guy that's going to save you all. But yeah. So I think that it basically just goes back to being the Illuminati is really what it comes down to. It's the Illuminati with Republicans trying to use it for votes, which is a really shitty thing, but that's what Republicans are doing now, and that's not going to stop after Trump dies. So here's to hoping that QAnon collapses very quickly, and that a 77-year-old man who's morbidly obese and doesn't exercise at all, that the actuary tables, tilt towards justice instead of injustice. That's all. So,
listeners, fund our trip to the funeral.
yes.
Thank you.
Oh
Yeah, but we certainly wouldn't get in any trouble at Donald Trump's funeral.
No. What's going to be so awful is that when Trump passes away this week, like QAnon's going to find that clip and they're going to be like, these podcasters knew Trump was going to pass away. How'd they know? Oh, they were in on it. Deep state, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, we basically talk about Trump dying every week. Calm down.
We'd have
Hell no, we're fucking psychic as fuck. Dude. Don't fuck with us.
Or like Taylor Swift will put a hex on you. Like,
yeah, dude. If we could predict such a thing, imagine what we could fucking do to your future. Like. So back off and run them pockets. Run them pockets and then back the fuck off.
Yeah. So that brings us to our final question, as always: is what are you guys looking forward to?
Dude, I've got like a bagel sandwich left over from breakfast, just chilling in the fridge.
You did a food one last week, and you got on my ass before for always saying food stuff.
I mean, that's fine. You feel free to get on my ass for it, but I'm a fat boy, and I like food and eating. And I also don't really have like a ton going on, like specifically in my social life now. I could tell you how I ordered some magic cards, and I'm excited for them to show up, but I don't think
that's something.
Really cares about that.
Yeah,
but I mean, I'm honestly less excited about that than the sandwich because the sandwich is immediate. I also went to go see a doctor about injecting drugs to reduce my impulse to eat sandwich.
Like heroin?
No, like Ozempic or Ozempic.
Oh, be careful with that.
Dude, I'm here for a good time, not a long time,
I feel you.
Dude, I need to get thin enough to fuck before I die, and then I can die having done that and probably been whelmed by it.
Okay.
I mean, having done it more. I'm not like a fucking incel virgin or whatever, but like. I'm just when I think about my reasons for wanting to lose weight, I'm just like, it's honestly not much about being healthy. I guess it is like in some ways to ward off future unhealthiness, but that's not necessarily my primary concern. I'm just like, I would just sort of like my life to be easier.
Sure.
Yeah. So what do you?
There you go. Drugs and sandwiches. That's drugs
and sandwiches.
Yeah.
That sounds like a party.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to, Haley?
You go, Mike.
Oh, me?
I don't know. Okay. I will be seeing a group of friends this weekend, and we'll be hanging out for an unspecified reason. But I'm excited for that and to see my friends. There we go. Did it.
Excellent. I will suffer all the razzling necessary, but I also have a food-related thing I'm looking forward to because I literally haven't eaten in 24 hours, so I'm going to go to...
Mike, why?
Oh, because I was just fasting. I was just like, I had just eaten so much crap for like a few days. I was like, you know what? I need to just like reset everything. So, I'm gonna go to Chipotle. I don't know if I'm gonna get the ultimate Jacob Chansley special.
You're gonna get the QAnon order?
I'm not gonna get the QAnon order, I don't think. But
the Q shaman order?
The Q shaman order, no. But I'm just gonna get myself a steak burrito and a chicken burrito and just enjoy. Just scarf down some Chipotle and have a good time. So that'll be fun.
Bro, shout out to corn salsa. I love corn salsa.
Yeah. Yes.
Just got that out there.
Is Chipotle actually organic?
I mean, no more or less organic than anything.
Yeah,
that doesn't answer the question.
Who knows?
I mean, well, I'm no fucking Chipotle scientist. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Dude, okay. I actually tried not to think about a lot of the stuff I'm putting into my body because I do not want to know how the sausage
except
is made.
Ozempic.
Yeah.
I mean, well, that like
I'm just kidding.
First of all, Yeah, I don't want to know what's in that. I just want to put it in me, just like a submarine sandwich. It's actually the exact same thing, but with the hopefully opposite effect. I'm only supposed to be doing one. I don't think the goal is to just be shooting myself full of experimental super drug and then also eating steak and cheese subs. But for the time being, I don't have the drug yet.
So steak and cheese it is.
Got to be put something in me, you know.
Yes.
Like I got the need to consume.
All right.
Yep.
Rock on.
We did it.
Yeah, dude. Everybody's looking forward to food. We all love food.
That's good.
Thank you, everybody, so much for listening to the show. I don't know why you do sometimes, but we appreciate you sticking with us. If you want to support us even harder, but still for free, you can give us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast from. If you want to give us money, we will take it, and you do so by visiting our Patreon at patreon.com/pokerpolitics. Anybody who donates $5 or more per month gets access to our slate of bonus content, past, present, and future. So sign up if you want to hear more of our dulcet tones, including stuff from back when Sarge was still on the squad, but also, and more recently, including stuff with Haley on the squad, talking about JFK and his head getting exploded. What a time to be alive, you know, or dead in JFK's
That's
case.
not what Rob Reiner said. I'm just kidding.
Does Rob Reiner, is he saying that JFK is still alive?
You got to listen to the podcast and find out more.
Oh shit, keep it in your pants, Rockstar. If you have money and you want to give it to not us, you can do so good by donating it to love146.org, their organization whose vision is the end of child trafficking and exploitation. And also, you know, not for nothing, UK could probably also use some money if you have ways to get in that to any of that effort or whatever. Just do good with your money. You know, we believe in you. Or give it to us. There's no greater good than us. Thanks as always to DJ Minimal Effort for use of our original theme song that was remixed accidentally by Mike Rains, allegedly. Thanks to Frosty, our buddy who does all of our voiceover work, who can be found on Blue Sky at FrostyVO. Speaking of social media, you can find the show that you're listening to on Twitter at HellwQrld with a Q instead of an O. You can find me on Blue Sky at Mysterious L, Haley on various social media platforms at Arizona Right Watch, and Mike Rains on various social media platforms, of course, at Poker Politics. So, for another successful episode of the Adventures in HellwQrld podcast, I have been one of your co-hosts, the Mysterious L, joined as always by Haley and our good friend and expert in all things QAnon crazy, Mr. Mike Rains. Godspeed, Patriots! Meh! I waited until the end of the show, but I'm back. Meh! Meh!